Hey everyone, welcome to CommanderCast episode 313. We're your weekly source for community, strategy, and technology, hosted on our home site, CommanderCast.com. This week, we are back to our best 25 years of Magic, part 3, Trace, Trio. I've lost the ability to say the number 3 in other languages. So.
Trois.
There we go. And that's it. And so, yeah, welcome to the beginning and end of our international segment this week.
Yeah.
So, Adam, what is going on on this fine March Sunday?
Well, it's 85 degrees.
Screw you, because it's 22 where I am.
Yep. We were walking around Universal yesterday and sweating.
I was preparing for yet another snowstorm, which was going to be the 4th in 2 weeks, but now it kind of petered out. So thank God that we can see the ground maybe sometime next month.
Yeah.
Adam, I don't like
a
winter.
friend who lives in the Catskills, and she's been kind of pummeled by...
Yes, pummeled is the correct word to say. I don't know what I did to Mother Nature to anchor her so, but I am willing to sacrifice something to make it stop. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, blood sacrifices aside, this week we are going to continue on with our best 25 years of Magic. This time going from Portal 2nd Edition, no one's favorite era of Magic, to Mercadian Masques, which is a fun time. You know what I also learned going back through these? I constantly confuse Apocalypse with Mercadian Masque, just the symbol.
Oh.
Constantly.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, they're both masks.
They are both masks. I'm just saying, I get the masks for Mercadian Masques, totally get that. I'm not sure why Apocalypse of all the symbols you could use for an apocalyptic event, I don't know why you would go with a mask. There's probably...
Isn't that the mask of Yawgmoth?
I don't give a shit.
I mean, I'm just... Yeah.
I don't know. I don't... You could literally say it's the mask of anything. And
I'm pretty sure, because, that's the symbol of Phyrexia, is that phase.
Really?
Yeah.
Where the hell did they get the cool little 3...
Well, there's that thing, too. But, even in the new set, if you look at the newest card, the Saga thing, the face is right on there, on the art.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I didn't recognize that? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Is this one of these things that Adam, I'm so...
No, that's 100%.
I'm so non-discerning about this, you could literally tell me anything, and I would probably believe you because my Vorthos knowledge of Magic, despite the fact that I host a Magic podcast every week, is terribly limited. But I'm going with you on this. So.
No. That's totally what that is.
Okay, so I will defer all the Vorthos emails to Adam. So at the end of the show, you know where to contact him, folks. And other than that, this week we'll also talk a little bit in community about why Adam doesn't like everything in Masters 25. And then in strategy and technology, Mass Land Strategy. Because we're those guys. So stick with us, folks. You can keep up the conversation on Facebook and Twitter. Please do not leave comments on YouTube because no one likes comments on YouTube. And stick with us after the break, and we'll come back with starting off with the expected value of Masters 25, an article by Saffron Olive, and going into why people do and do not like our newest Masters set. So stick with us after the break. Can I also say I wish that I was cool enough to have a nickname like Saffron Olive? That's pretty dope, man.
That is pretty cool.
It's just, I don't know, it's understated and yet, I don't know, catchy. I like it. What would a saffron olive look like? Would that just be like a yellow olive?
I would think that it would be saffron flavored, like in a saffron oil.
Maybe. I mean, I guess I'm saying saffron. Saffron is yellow, isn't it? The spice is yellow?
The spice itself is red. It tints things like a yellowy orange.
Really? Now I'm just hungry. Anyway, moving on.
That's why paella is usually like yellowy orange.
Oh, because there's saffron in it?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
See, there you go.
Oh, paella. Places, bad places to live in America if you want paella. Number 1, Connecticut.
Yeah.
In community this week, folks, we're going to talk about some Masters 25. Not necessarily... I'm sorry, Adam, are you having intestinal distress on that end? It sounds like intense. Ooh, intense intestinal distress. So.
Oh, I was just naming the set.
Was that a comment on Masters 25, perhaps?
It was. I mean, it's the subtitle for the set, is it not? Okay. Masters 25.
Ah, man. All right, Adam, get it out of your way. Get out of your system, man, because I really like this set. So.
Okay, let's just start with the mythics.
Okay.
Let's just start with the mythics. Okay, Armageddon.
Yeah. Why? I don't know why that's mythic either. Okay. It is a nice transition into our strategy segment this week, but I don't think that that's what Wizards had in mind when they
Right. Achroma, Angel of Wrath. Meh.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that art, man. Therese Nielsen art was pretty dope.
I like the art. My problem with it is, okay, I'm paying $10 for a pack.
Mm-hmm.
If I am a lucky person, I get a mythic. Okay. If I get a white mythic, I get a choice of these two cards. No, sorry. Okay. Let's go on to blue.
Okay.
Nailed it. Fine. Vendilion Click and Jace. Great.
Yeah, 100%. What else do you want?
Jace is in there, and Jace got unbanned from Modern only to sell this set. Pretty sure the only thing that's going to sell the set. Let's go to black. We've got Doomsday. Amazing art. Not going to complain about the art. And Phyrexian Obliterator. Both of these see minimal play. I believe Doomsday was only a $4 card prior to this.
Yeah, Doomsday didn't really need... I mean, Doomsday really, I think, exists in this set so that I can be lazy and not go search it out from another set.
Right, so. Fair enough. Going into red. Imperial Recruiter.
Yeah.
Great reprint. Perfect reprint. Should absolutely be in here. Is dropping the price of Imperial Recruiter in general. It's going to settle even lower. I think that's fantastic. Achroma, Angel of Fury. Who cares?
Aww.
All right, let's move into green mythics. You could be lucky enough to crack a pack and in your mythic slot get a Tree of Redemption. This is great because there are some stores that are even offering a special no Tree of Redemption guarantee where if you crack a Tree of Redemption pack, they will give you a new pack. That's
so
how bad that is.
How to redeem your Tree of Redemption. That is pretty fucking bad, especially when you think the next one on the list is Azusa Lost But Seeking. Like, I like the fact that they just printed Azusa at rare, because that'll increase the circulation. That's a great card. I love that it's in there. I don't know why Tree of Redemption was at Mythic. That's a swing and a miss. That's a swing
and then Master of the Wild Hunt. Again, not a problem that they reprinted Master of the Wild Hunt. Problem that it is one of the Mythics.
It was originally just a rare?
I don't care. It's not worth a mythic slot in a $10 pack.
Fucking amazing. I love that. Hey, Master of the Wild Hunt was a $12 card.
Yeah, fair. Okay. It's probably $3 now.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, look, Master of the Wild Hunt, I said it before the cast, is one of my favorite cards I think ever printed. Like, it is a goofy card that makes tokens, and that dude's got a fucking antler helmet. What more do you want, man?
All right.
Yeah.
So let's continue through the great reprints that we've gotten. We've got a Decree of Justice. Oh God, the overplay that thing sees.
Man, come on. Hey, you're overlooking Hell's Caretaker? Come on. Hell's Caretaker could have used a reprint.
All right, we could do the back and forth all day. Bident of Thassa.
Yeah, that one's no. Hey, Blood Moon.
Ball Lightning.
Yeah, swing and a miss. Yeah. Elvish Piper? That was getting up there.
Fortune Thief.
Okay, yeah, swing and a miss. I don't know, Pact and Negation.
Is it Chemister?
Yeah, not so much. Reefworm, I like that they reprinted it.
Stop it.
I love that fucking card. I will brook no bad comments about Reefworm. Thank you very much. You can eventually get a Kraken out of it, okay? So, you just have to keep going. Yeah, so,
it's bad.
It's so good. Hey, Magus of the Wheel.
Yeah, Ratcatcher.
Yeah, not so much. Protean Hulk.
Yeah, Triskaidekaphobia.
It's just fun to say. Especially on our 313th episode.
Oh.
See? Yeah. Hey, I like the packs.
My problem with it, like some of the reprints make a lot of sense. I mean, Blood Moon, another reprint. Vendilion Click, another reprint. Living Death reprint. These are all cards that, like, see play in multiple formats and have price tags associated with them, etc. My problem is they still haven't understood what they're supposed to be doing here. Like, they didn't nail the iconic Masters concept, because I don't think most of these cards are iconic in my estimation.
Yeah.
They haven't nailed the EV because there's plenty of just trash in this set that's not worth anything.
Harsh.
It may be good in draft because I know that they do create these for a draft environment. It doesn't look like it is, but it might be.
Ooh, harsh.
They create they put in combos that they shouldn't have put in.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, Brian Elemental and Vesuvian Shapeshifter.
Yeah, fucking Brian Elemental, so good. And that particular combo is ridiculous. That should not have been in there.
Absolutely.
It would have been really easy to just not put in Vesuvian Shapeshifter and like, okay, there you go. So, but whatever.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of like misfires. Just a lot.
I love it. I mean, a lot of the things that you're bringing up, I'm not to say that and you were wrong about any of those topics, because you're not. I just really like the cards that are in here. Like, my metric for whether it's a good card or whether it's a good set is like, do I like the cards? Am I going to go out and buy $10 packs? Oh, fuck no.
Yeah, I mean, but my real problem with it is that they're not symbolic of those sets in a lot of cases. Like, there are some great, and I'm not even talking about the rares and mythics. Like, if this was nothing but nostalgia, like if I really was like, oh my god, I remember that card. Oh my god, I remember that card. Oh my god, I remember that card. For everything, I'd be fine. Like, Totally Lost out of, what is it, Gate Crash? Great pick. It's a common. It's a garbage common. But it's got Fibblethip or whatever his name is on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very memorable card. You know? Cloud Blazer. That was a good pick from a new set because Cloud Blazer got a lot of just like, you know, meme type things around it.
Sure. I mean, Savannah Lions, like, that's kind of classic.
Savannah Lions is a good pick. Yeah. Absolutely.
Squadron Hawk.
Sigh of the Shinobi. We all remember that really well.
You know.
Oh. Quicksand? Oh. That was garbage too?
Hey, look, I'm not going to argue that there aren't a whole lot of misses here. I just happen to really like a lot of the cards in this set. I mean, some of the things they put in here I think are phenomenal. Like, I love the fact that they reprinted Animar, because he definitely needed a reprint.
Sure.
I love the new art on Nicopolis. I love that they continued the Therese Nielsen art for Hannah. Even though I think she's been reprinted a couple times now.
Yeah.
Like, they brought back Pernicious Teed, Boros Charm. I mean,
Kavu Climber, Lunarch Mantle, Noble Templar.
Don't even. Look, Stang. Fucking Stang got a reprint. Tell me that's
I'm
not
a little
cool.
salty about Stang, because I know that people are happy about Stang, but like, I don't know.
Stang.
No, it needs to look OG.
No, that OG art's fucking terrible.
No, I love that helmet. I don't even care if you like redo it in good art, but with the helmet.
All right, I'll go with you that the helmet probably needs to be on there. But look, man, I mean, they finally reprinted the Filter Lands. Honestly, if they did nothing else, like, that would have done it. You know, Rashadinpur, Mika Koro, which desperately needed one. Like, they should just reprint all of the comic. Well, not all the comic.
Horseshoe Crab, Nezumi Cutthroat.
Okay, I like Horseshoe Crab. I play him. I definitely play Horseshoe Crab in, oh shit, who's that stupid Experiment Crotch deck? So, love me some Horseshoe Crab.
Geist of the Moors.
Yeah, don't even go with the Geist.
Fencing Ace.
Look, Zoetic Cavern, pretty cool.
Boy, I'm sorry. So for Return to Ravnica, we got Fencing Ace. That was a good representation of Return to Ravnica.
Yeah, look, I would have liked
one of the best sets in Magic history.
Yes, look, I would have wanted that Lantern too. Okay, but we got Coalition Relic. So Coalition Relic.
We got Chartooth Cougar because they keep trying to make these cycle creatures matter.
Ensnaring Bridge.
Yeah.
Chalice of the Void.
You got me. Chandra's Outrage.
I just don't. We're just not going to come together on this one. I get it.
I know which one you really wanted. You wanted a Death's Head Buzzard, huh?
I think that's really funny. That's so fucking bad. So bad. Like Phantasmal Bear. So, like, that was a good one. Yeah, go with it.
Yeah. Urbis Protector. How many times are they going to print that thing before they get that card sucks?
Okay. How about this? Because this was legitimately a card that I almost put on our segment today. Path of Peace? Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Path of Peace is a 4-mana kill spell in white. So, it's not a very good 4-mana kill spell, but at least it's not like a kill attacking creature. So, and I legitimately almost put that on Portal second edition, second coming, whatever the fuck it is. So,
Short targets creature.
yeah, second age, my bad. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it's real bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll tell you how good Portal was. That one almost made my list. So.
Ordeal of Heliod, that's a nice one.
Don't. I will say.
Ming, oh my god, of all the things that you're gonna reprint out of that set. Kong Ming? We've already gotten reprints of this guy.
We did. We didn't need one. No. How about this? Loyal Sentry. I like Loyal Sentry.
Yeah.
Fathom Seer.
Zealot.
Fathom Seer I liked. There was no reason to reprint that sucker.
Dragon's Eye Savants. That's important.
Hey, we got a counterspell. That's iconic. Huh?
Yeah, they got a couple iconic things.
Cultivate?
They put swords in there. They put Bolt. They put Dark Ritual.
Disenchant?
I pretty much called that whole cycle, but...
Elvish Aberration? That one still sees play.
They put Disenchant. Beautiful. That's great. Cultivate. Awesome. Like, these are good core set cards. I think they did a decent job from selecting from core sets, but man, did they just punt on so many choices from so many sets.
I mean, we are gonna definitely have to, I suppose, agree to disagree on this. I really like they had cool stuff in here. I mean, if I cracked a pack and I saw, like, Arcane Denial, I would be super happy. Or even a Dark Ritual, because I love that art, and I wasn't about to pay for that.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, that's fine, but, like...
Willbender?
Quicksilver Dagger.
Okay,
no, you know what? The one that got me the saltiest was because I think I even said this, like, well before. I don't know who I was talking to, but I was like, I swear to God, if they reprint another Shadow Mage Infiltrator, I'm going to be so... I don't know how many times you need to reprint that to say that Magic has changed and creatures don't need to suck anymore.
Oh, I play Shadow Mage Infiltrator in a deck.
That card is bad.
I'm not going to argue with you. Come on, Mystic Snake, though. Huh? Mystic Snake?
Yeah, Mystic Snake, fine, yeah.
Rurik Thar? It's
not
fun.
something that I really want as my rare.
No. Yeah. No.
I also don't want Hannah.
Oh.
Hannah's also not adding anything to the limited environment, let's be honest.
Also true. I don't know. It's got Watch Wolf. You want a 3/3 for 2?
That's
pretty good in limited.
Again, not the original artwork, which that's one that you should keep it for. You could have redone the artwork on Lore Scale Coatl, and I wouldn't have cared. But Watch Wolf, I mean, like that's actually that's a good card.
See, there you go. Well,
not needy age, but it's a good card.
No, yeah. I'm not sure what Pillory of the Sleepless is doing.
I love that card though.
Really?
I don't know.
That's the one?
I do.
Okay, I don't know. Whatever. Hey, Strionic Resonator.
Sure. That reminds me of that set that came out in. Oh wait, nobody can name what set it came out in? I'm glad they put that watermark there.
M14? Maybe?
Yeah.
I think it was M14.
Heavy Arbalist. We all remember that from Scars of Mirrodin.
Yeah, that is a dog shit card. Yeah. No, I'm not standing up for that. I kind of like Pendelhaven. It's bad.
Pendelhaven, that's cool.
Yeah. It's kind of neat, though. I don't know.
I mean, I think that was a good choice out of... I don't know that it needed to be upshifted to rare.
No, definitely did not.
But I'm glad they reprinted. I'm glad they reprinted Ash Barrens, and Myriad Landscape. Those are both very good choices from Commander products.
Mm-hmm. I even like Mishra's Factory.
Yeah, Mishra's Factory. I wish they went with the original art. But
yeah, but
I actually wish they went with all 4 original arts. Because that, I would have actually bought all 4.
Okay. I mean, I'm not that much of a Mishra's Factory buddy. I do think it's weird they went with Mishra's Factory, but not Urza's Factory. I mean, Urza's Factory isn't as good, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, I hate Urza's Factory.
But, it's a duality. I mean, seriously, you couldn't pluck out, like, Pendelhaven for Urza's Factory? I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Trumpet Blast, so good.
Look, into every set, a little rain must fall. So...
Yeah, but the point is, these are supposed to be like premium sets. Like you're supposed to be excited. These are supposed to be, again, iconic, etc., etc. I don't think it pulled it off. I think there are too many. Like, how the hell does Caustic Tar remind you of Mirrodin?
All right, is it the word iconic that is really sticking in your craw on this one?
My problem is that this is supposed to be a nostalgic set. Actually, it was what they had said. bringing cards from every set of Magic in Magic's history, and they did that kind of lame and stupid.
Oh.
I think it was a poor selection of cards. You should have really looked at what are popular cards, not even just expensive, but what were popular cards. Things like Totally Lost. Things like Browbeat. Browbeat's not worth anything. Who cares? But people like Browbeat for whatever reason. That's where they really should have gone, and they didn't. I think they really failed on that. Nobody is like, oh my god, Laquash's champion is so good. I love Laquash's champion. Nobody ever even talks about that card.
Yes, that card is fucking terrible. Yes, I get it. No one's really going after Core Firewalker, so totally get it.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with Core Firewalker.
Really? That one's the one you're fine for? Okay, sure, yeah. Whatever. What is this world? I don't know.
Well, because it sees it sees a good amount of play, and I think it was getting expensive. I'm not sure.
I get
Ravenous Chupacabra from a brand new set was a perfect pick.
Okay, if you had said anything bad about the Chupacabra, we might have.
No, Chupa Puppy is everything that people have been talking about in that set.
Yeah.
It's one of those kind of cult follow, and that's what they should have gone with. The cards that have cult followings. Croson Tusker was a perfect selection.
Yep, 100%. I don't know. I thought a lot of them were really good. I can see, your comments notwithstanding, I think it's probably just the chaff they selected. I don't know. You're not going to get me to defend some of the mythics. I'm not.
Right.
So that's fine. The Tree of Redemption. What are you doing, people? But
yeah,
the rest of the stuff, yeah, I don't know.
All right.
So with that, I think
my Salt Pillar is done.
You good? Okay. I don't know. Just sit back, have a beer. It was St. Patty's Day. I relax. Okay, I mean, that's a choice. So, drink coffee?
I don't drink coffee either.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we got nothing then. So we officially have nothing in common anymore. Goodbye, Commander Cast. Stick with us or maybe don't, as I either burn down my equipment or we stick around for the strategy segment, folks. So I will see you guys maybe in 30 seconds. Maybe it's appropriate after that last segment we talk about mass land destruction. So,
right.
It probably is. So, good on us. We're being thematically consistent this week. And in strategy this week, ladies and gentlemen, for our best of 25 years of Magic segments, we'd like to select a particular strategy from the annals of Magic the Gathering that we either really like or just think is, in honor of nostalgia, is a good thing to talk about. So this week, just like we had talked about last week, we're going to talk about some mass land destruction. Because we like blowing up the lands.
Yeah.
Is that something that at least we can get behind? Can we find?
I mean, I think when appropriate, I like blowing up the lands.
Can we find common ground on blowing up the ground?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I love some blowing up the ground. Adam, let's start off with the correct way to blow up all the grounds.
Okay. So, we'll harken back to when this strategy was actually somewhat popular. In the very beginning of Magic.
Yes, yeah, it was the 90s. So.
Armageddon was played. Armageddon was played very regularly, and it was played, I believe, in the two best decks in 96. Urnum Burnham and in the Azorius Control, basically. And it was used for the same exact thing in both of them. You get yourself to a winning board state, and then your way of disrupting everything else your opponent can do was to cast Armageddon. So they can't do that anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately.
This is still the actual way to play mass land destruction. Here's the problem. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't wait to get to a winning board state. They have an Armageddon in hand, and everybody else ramped a lot, and they're like, oh, I'm going to cast Armageddon. because then everybody else's lands get blown up more than mine because I stumbled on mana and they didn't. That's stupid. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, what you do is you're ahead of the game, and now you have taken away everybody else's resources, so they can't get back.
Right.
So
that's the correct way to do it. You want to blow up all the lands after you are in a winning position. So if you look at this like quadrant theory wise, right? Like in the beginning of the game, land destruction not very good. When you're winning, land destruction very good. When you're behind, land destruction very bad. And toward the end of the game, it depends on the other things really.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like you only play it when you're ahead, because there's no reason to play it when you're behind. So I get why people might, I don't know, misuse this strategy, I suppose. Even though I don't see the point of blowing up everybody's lands, like, do you think they would just do it just to be salty? Like, is that a thing?
Some people do it just to be salty. I think some people do it, because they view it as fun. Like, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna reset the game back to the beginning. Okay. We can do that. That's fine. I think what most people hate about mass land destruction, they hate two things, right? People hate being resource blocked in general. It's kind of the same thing as like hating counterspell.
Yep.
And they hate being mana screwed, which honestly, I mean, being mana screwed is the worst because you at least want to try to do stuff in your deck, you know. And if you're just drawing a card and passing every turn, that's not fun. I get that. But they also hate it because people misplay it and it drags on games for a lot longer. And the way you should play Armageddon is if I play Armageddon, everybody else dies in the next 2 turns. No problem. You will not hear a complaint out of me ever if you cast something that destroys all lands and then win in the next 2 turns.
Yeah, right. Like one of the reasons I kind of like mass land destruction is it puts a very finite clock on the game. Like if you're doing it right, like and the clock is like you're going to win the next 2 turns. Good, fine. You win the next turn, whatever it is. You know, you just need like a rock solid. Your opponent's not going to do anything for a turn. It's almost like WotC's version of a time walk.
Yeah,
you know, it's just it's not viewed that way.
Right.
For some reason, like I don't know, I find time walk effects. I'm on the opposite end of the scale. Like I find time walk effects obnoxious because they're so much more abusable than like you can only blow up the land so many times, presumably, because someone's probably going to stop playing with you. Whereas like you know you can copy and you know radiate time warp and whatever, and it's annoying. Not radiate, but replicate time warp. So I don't really mind it. I like it. It's the heart of like a good Isamaru deck, you know, like a white weenies deck or a white get there deck, you know. It's one of those effects in red too, which will definitely help get you there. I don't know, man. And I just like I have the opposite effect. Like when someone plays a good Jackal Hops, I'm like, well played, sir.
Well, that's the thing. Like you know, my friend Shannon plays Jackal Hops in his Planeswalker deck because he basically gets. Even if he has like 3 mediocre Planeswalkers out, and then he's like, Jackal Hops. It's like, okay, well, 2 turns before all of those ult, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And we can't do anything about it.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's just, the game is over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, as long as it's the right Planeswalkers that you're doing, you know, the stuff that's going to win you the game, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm really good with that. I think it's really kind of cool that you can play around with it. Like, there's that neat class. Like, I don't play a Super Friends deck, but I like the fact that Super Friends decks can abuse things like Jackal Hops to get around it, or abuse things that, like, you know, they generate their own resources left to their own devices. So, I think that's kind of cool. Like, that's just one of the things I like about old cards you can kind of get around. Let's talk about ways in which you see mass land destruction being used or not used in Commander nowadays. Because there is like a pretty healthy social stigma against this. So do you think...
Yeah, there always has.
Yeah. So do you... I mean, ever since like the 90s. I don't know why it didn't bother me either. Maybe because I just play a lot of strategy games and like resource denial is possibly the best tactic. In most strategy games, like you want to deny people resources. There's a reason why like militaries always go after your supply convoys, like because you know if you knock out their supplies, if they're regenerating resources, you win. Like it's just a matter of time.
I mean, it might be attrition, but you still win.
Yeah, that's fine. Attrition totally works.
Right. So, and it is interesting because even if you play other like resource management type games like Catan or something like that. If you cut everybody off from brick, and you're the only person who has access to brick, you're probably going to win.
Yeah. I mean, you corner the market, right?
Right. And so the same thing is true. I mean, if you have some way to make land destruction one-sided, then you're probably going to win. I think what ends up happening with the hatred and why people really dislike it is often, in my experience, that it is not within the 1 or 2 turns. Meaning, yeah, you'll probably win. You've probably positioned yourself to win, but it's going to take you another 8 turns to do. So that just feels like you're just dragging out the game.
Do you guys?
Which I don't think anybody wants to do. Like,
right.
You go out to play EDH and you want to get in a couple games. You don't want to be stuck in one game the whole night.
Right. Do you think that, like, I don't know, people wouldn't just scoop at that point? Like, I would just, like, if I know that it's just going to drag out for 8 turns, but the outcome is not going to change, I will just say, okay, good game.
To me, it definitely depends on the foreseen outcome. Meaning, if I view you as not a very good player and you just did that to do that, I'll stick in it because I think I'll probably bounce back better than you, and then I'll kill you for having done it.
I mean, if you did, like, if I was playing with someone and I knew they were not a very good player, or if I knew rather that they just did that to do that, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't have a follow-up strategy, they didn't really have a way to win, I would just make sure that was probably my last time I played with that person. Like, that's not...
yeah, sure.
I mean, that's not... I don't value the win to stick in there. Like, this is a fancy card game, so I don't really give a shit. But, like, I don't win most of the time anyway, so...
Right. It's not so much that I value the win, but I want to send the message. Don't do that if you want.
Yeah. I can appreciate that only because I have made people, when they do... I especially do this online where it's even more obnoxious. They do, like, a really complicated combo where they're just like, okay, well, like, I started off this infinite combo. Like, are you going to scoop? I'm like, no, I'm going to make you play it out. So
it's interesting. I saw something on Twitter where they were like, "Are you a jerk if you make somebody click through their infinite combo?"
Yes, probably. Yeah, but I mean, someone does, like, I don't know, the curiosity Niv Mizzet combo on me or something.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna make you hit through every single point of my life. Like, no.
Oh, see, I won't make them do every single point. I will make them demonstrate that they actually know how to do it.
No,
some combos are very complex.
Yes.
And so I'll be like, no, you're going to show me at least a cycle, and then we'll talk about scoop.
No, I will totally be that person. I'll go grab a sandwich and, like, let them scoop through it.
Right.
Yeah. I like that part, but that's me. Maybe that's why I don't play online.
I think that the hatred of land destruction is mostly just down to resources. I've had the same people complain and say they don't want to play against, a land destruction deck, meaning a deck that has any mass land destruction. Mm-hmm. The same people complain and say they don't want to play against counterspell deck, meaning any, predominant blue that has, 10 counterspells or so in it. And that's fine. If that's not a style of play that you want to interact with, that's okay. But I've always hated the shunning of mass land destruction or land destruction in general, and the shunning of counterspelling because somebody doesn't like them, and like we start producing fewer cards with those things on them that are good because okay, you don't like it. It's part of the game, and it's been part of the game since the beginning. So if you don't like the game, you don't like the game.
Yeah, but, I mean, I'm not no one's a fan of having their shit counterspelled.
Sure.
But that's not, you can't just say, alright, well, that was cheap. It's not, it kind of reminds me of, like, to make a weird reference, but I'm sure you'll go with me on this one. Like, people who complain about throws in fighting games, Like,
yeah, or the juggling. Yeah.
Yes. It's just like, no, that's a thing. Like, if I didn't want to be juggled, like, I wouldn't play, I don't know, Marvel vs. Capcom. Or
right.
If I wouldn't, like, if there's weird stuff like that where, yeah, you can get back into a corner and people can play lousy shit. Well, that's a problem with, like, that particular person. Like, you don't have to play with that person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, I mean, I don't play those games.
Yeah.
I don't like that aspect. I mean, I never liked that in, like, Street Fighter 2 back in the day.
Right. Yeah. So, like, if you don't like that game, you don't like that game. But if it's just a part, like, some things you just have to kind of get over. I would think to be part of the game. I can say that I think it's morphed a little bit now. Like, in my personal land, like, I don't do mass land destruction anymore. I will do mass, like, non-basic land destruction, or I'll, like, hate on people for some reason. Like, one of my favorite things that I forgot was a card until we started doing this segment about Magic's Past was Destructive Flow, which is at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-basic land.
Right.
Like, I love that card. So
yeah, no, I honestly think that unlike regular land destruction, I think most decks could run non-basic land destruction and be perfectly fine. Yeah. I also don't think you'd get nearly the amount of complaints. I mean, but like Wave of Vitriol should always be in decks. Ruination is totally playable.
I mean, like, yeah, cards like Encroaching Wastes and Dust Bowl, like a bunch of stuff like that. Like, I really like that. I also like, the like the Price of Progress type things, like punishing people for their non-basic lands.
Too. Yeah, you got a greedy mana base. Deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm totally fine with doing that.
Or From the Ashes. From the Ashes is basically Ruination, but you can go look for basic lands. Oh, you don't have any? Well, look, I didn't build your deck. I don't know what to tell you.
Yep. It's funny because I know this is still a popular thing because I still can't afford a copy of Fulminator Mage. So, like, there's still definitely, like, I don't know, there's an appetite for it in competitive because it's known to be really good, you know? I still love my Dwarven Rune Blaster or whatever the fuck those two cards are. They do essentially the same thing. I don't know. I love me some Helldozer in a zombie deck. Like, come on, man. Like, these are the things I want to do in these games. I don't know. I'm a big fan. So.
Yeah, I think I honestly do think that it's fine. And if, this more has to do with your play group than it has to do with your play. Like,
True.
If you want to play Matt's Land Destruction, I think that's fine. It's the strategy you want to play. You find that to be interesting. You find that to be entertaining. Yes, make sure that it's somewhat optimized so you're not just dragging people into 4-hour games that you don't know how to win.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're still griping, even though you're winning very shortly thereafter, if they're still griping, look, that's to a certain extent on them, and, maybe that's not the play group for you.
Yeah. I think it's like anything else, like in Commander, you have to know your play group. You probably should have some kind of conversation ahead of time if you include these strategies or you really don't like playing against those strategies rather than just griping about it.
Right.
So,
you should never leave a game being salty or everybody being salty at you. I've come to that more and more, like, where it's just unhealthy. Like, if somebody's salty, like, it better be over a really good reason. Like, somebody actually did something that they should not have done.
Like,
and I can't even think of what that is. Like, I guess,
anything south of flipping the table, I suppose, or just being a real douche. So.
Well, like, I mean, okay, so they have one of each type of permanent out, and that's it. Like, they only have one land out, and you're like, I'll decimate you for all 4. Like, okay, sure. I mean, I wasn't in this game anyway, because everybody else is actually doing things.
Wouldn't that be just like, don't pick on the little guy? Yeah.
Right, like, I mean, but whatever, I don't know. I think people get salty too often. It's like, look, if you've got a way to win, you've got a way to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Yeah. I would also agree. I don't know. Maybe don't hate on it, and then maybe also, I don't know, come with an honest reckoning of things that you really hate in a game, and then, work out some house rules if you really need to. Like, if it bothers you that much to see your lands go bye-bye, maybe you have anger issues.
Right.
Maybe there are other things in your life that you probably need to examine more than that. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I love me some Last Land Destruction. I would be really curious to hear if there's anybody else out there who has like a real love for things like Ruination and Destructive Flow, etc. Or maybe some really good just mass, like, I like targeted land destruction, I think is what I'm moving towards more now. I don't think I have the standard play group rule in my area, which is like, you don't get to cry if your guy's cradle get blown up. So,
right.
Like things like that I think are strangely like coming back around. Like, if your Urborg or Cabal Coffers gets targeted right out the gate, like, you should just expect that, because that's just an overwhelming advantage. Like, you don't get to be salty about that stuff if I blow up both of those cards at once. Technically, I suppose that's mass in that it's more than one, but like, you were asking for it, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in general, I use a lot more single land destruction.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's some cards that I don't even feel a little bit bad about. And things like From the Ashes or Wave of Vitriol, like, dude, you can get your lands back. You just need to have basics in your deck. If you don't have basics in your deck, that's not my problem.
Yeah, like you probably just should like adjust your strategy.
Right.
I will say, just to close out this segment, my absolute favorite thing to do, and it does make me a vindictive dick, is if I have Kamal and enough mana on the table, I will turn all your lands into creatures if you wrath my board. So I will be that guy. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm going to really laugh. I will tell people that I will do that. I'll be like, look, I have Kamal online and a shit ton of mana. If anyone tries to wrath, you will regret it. So
yeah.
I don't often like openly threaten people at a table, but I will totally do that if I get Kamal online and enough mana. So
I mean, I've done it before, but
it makes me feel good every time. I'm not going to apologize for it. So
it doesn't make me feel good so much as to me, it's just a backup strategy. It's like if you really think that my board state is that oppressive, go ahead and board wipe. If you board wipe, I have this as an option, and I'll tell them that I'm going to do it.
Oh yeah,
so
it's the nuclear option. It's the nuclear Kamal. So.
Right. Well, I mean, it's not because I still have lands at that point. You don't.
That's right. So, the one-sided nuclear option? Yeah.
Right. If you want to wipe out everything on your board and probably my other opponent's boards to just wipe out my creatures, go for it. Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah. In that case, you have just made a tactical mistake.
Yeah.
So that's all there is to it. And that's a nice way to round out this strategy segment, folks. So we're going to wrap this up with mass land destruction. Believe me, if there's one thing we have covered on Commander Cast before, it's probably some mass land destruction. Ruination should be like the fourth pillar on our homepage. So if any of you folks out there have some other things you want to talk about from mass land destruction, please throw them our way. I will always read your mass land destruction comments and quotes and emails, etc. So, with that, we're going to move on to our technology segment with our recurring segment of our two favorite cards from each set, starting this week with Portal Second Age. Oh, Portal Second Age. It was so hard to find cards for you.
I mean, the Portal sets in general were not very good.
Yeah. Whew. Talk about digging deep for that one. You know, the hardest part about finding cards of this set was finding cards that weren't just straight reprints in other sets. That was legit the hardest part of this. So. Also, most of the cards are shit. But. In technology this week, ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten to the meat and potatoes of this cast. We're going to talk about two of our favorite cards of each set from Portal Second Age all the way up to Mercadian Masques. So it's like going from bad to good, Adam.
Yeah.
So let's start off with our I'm not gonna say least favorite set in Magic, but it's a bad set.
It's not. Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, I feel confident saying it's a bad set. When I have to struggle this hard to find two cards, I'm going to say it's bad.
Yeah. I will say the one caveat to this is remember that I was looking at this as in things that should be reprinted, not necessarily my favorite list.
Okay. I think that kind of belies the fact that we titled this segment our two favorite cards from each set, but that's okay. So,
well, because... You know,
I mean, Adam,
favorites are so hard. I don't want to pick a favorite of anything.
Adam, I'm not asking you to make a fucking Sophie's Choice on that end, man.
What's your favorite band? It's an impossible question. It's the Beatles. But what's your favorite song by the Beatles? It's so hard.
It's really not that hard. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess. Maybe it's harder for other people than others. I don't know. I kind of like doing it. I know that people hate, like, the best of, every year when November and December roll around, like the year's best of. I really like that. It's a good chance to read through some stupid listicles. So
yeah, I mean, listicles abound. Really.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's what the age of the internet has taught us. So let's continue on with our own listicle here.
Exactly.
What's your favorite? Or how about this not favorite? What's your first pick from Portal Second Age?
I mean, I will actually say this is one of my favorites from Portal.
It's like the best card from this set.
Yeah. Temporal Manipulation. It is very simple. It's 3 blue for a sorcery that says you take another turn after this one. So it's just time warp, right?
Yeah, it's just time warp. It's just if you need another time warp.
Yeah, it's a $60 time warp. I wanted this reprinted mostly because it's $60, and I think it would go down to like 10.
Oh yeah, I think easily.
And so like I was like, that's a perfect reprint from this set. You get a rare out of a garbage set, and it pays for the pack, but it's not like stupid expensive when everything settles.
Mm-hmm. I would keep the original
the art's
art
even
too.
kind of interesting. I don't even know what it's supposed to be exactly, but it's kind of cool looking.
Yeah, I don't. Some Urza's something maybe. It's like Urza's keychain. I don't know.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it looks like there's some kind of artifact, temporal artifact to it. It's like the Eye of Agamotto.
I guess. I was thinking more like if you had a key fob for like a time machine, this is what it would look like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm down with it.
So yeah, I mean, this definitely needs to be a reprint. What is and I don't remember what this one does. I have to look it up.
Really? Oh, this card is so stupid. I love it. Although I will say, I think the 10th, it was reprinted in 10th edition.
I was going to say, I remember
starter.
this being in an actual set too.
Yes, so it was definitely in 10th edition. That's the art that I like best, and it was in Duels of the Planeswalkers as well. But the Portal Second Age art is kind of stupid that I love. So Denizen of the Deep is a 6 mana and 2 blue serpent. He's an 11/11, so it appeals to my timminess.
Yeah.
And it's also really dumb because when Denizen of the Deep enters the battlefield, return each other creature you control to its owner's hand. So that sounds bad, but there are multiple ways to break this in half. So
yeah, I was gonna say that is bad in most decks. That is not bad overall.
No. Yeah, so it's like anything else. Like if you build your deck the correct way, Dennis of the Deep can help you, not hurt you. And you get an 11/11 out of it.
Yeah, I really wish this thing had flash.
Yeah. I mean, there are ways to get around it. There are ways to just drop this thing at instant speed.
Sure.
Pick your favorite. I really like it. I pick up the 10th edition one because it's 35 cents. If you really want,
it also has better art. The Second Age one is really kind of not good.
Yeah, not good is the nicest way of saying it. Like it's really stupid. I have trouble finding out like where its eyes are. Like, is it got 3 eyes, or is it the nostril in the middle? I'm not sure. But I mean, I
don't know what the thing in the middle is, but I don't think it's an eye.
I also have trouble finding out where the eyes are in the 10th edition art too, because I think I found the mouth, but maybe it doesn't have eyes. I don't know. It's got some cool Cthulhu shit going on.
Oh, in the 10th edition? Oh god, I have no idea what's going on in that thing.
It's nice nightmare fuel in the 10th edition though, so I like that. But anyway, yeah. So that's my Denizen of the Deep. I like it. It's stupid. So, what's your second pick?
My next one also is a good card. I play this card, and it desperately needs a reprint. And it's Goblin Lore.
Yeah.
The Goblin Lore from Portal Second Age is $30.
Ah, fucking A. What's the, it got reprinted again, right?
In 10th edition and in Starter 99.
Ugh, well, maybe not for Starter 99. 10th edition's $21.50.
Yeah, which is still, up there. But anyway, it's a red and a generic for a sorcery that says draw 4 cards, then discard 3 cards at random. Kind of a niche card. I mean, I think that this sees play in, is it Legacy Hollow One? Or is that, I guess it would be Legacy. I guess you could play it in Modern Hollow One.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be Legacy or Modern to drive that price like that, because it's not like Commander would drive this up. I really like this, especially in decks where you're just trying to churn through your library,
I play Feldon.
Yeah, Feldon would be a perfect place. Like, if I wasn't too cheap, I would play it in Feldon. I would also play it in any kind of, like, is it playing cards from your graveyard deck?
Yeah.
Like an is it Spell Slinger deck? I would really like to have this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay $22 for
it. No, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily either. I bought it when it was when Control the Court was very expensive, but this thing was still only a few dollars, like $5, $6 maybe.
Yeah. For listeners who didn't listen to our Portal 3 Kingdoms one, Control the Court does the same thing. It just happens to be out of Portal 3 Kingdoms, so it's ridiculously expensive.
Yeah,
it's a
like $70 or $80 or something. I don't know.
Still, a functional reprint, how many times are you going to get to draw 4 cards, even if you have to discard 3 of them at random?
Yeah,
It's whatever. I don't know. Where do you fall on cards like the random aspect of red, like gamble? Like, you pro gamble or con gamble?
I play gamble. It's probably a bad idea.
I like when people have that caveat. Like, this is probably a shit idea, but.
Yeah, but I mean, Gamble is like too fun to, like, look, it's doing what you want to do because you're wanting to tutor.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely play it in Felden because odds are I kind of want to discard what I pull out of my deck anyway. But yeah, even in other decks, I'll throw a Gamble in there sometimes if I have no other tutor. And it's like, look, if I get it, I'm probably gonna win. If I don't get it, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, Gamble would be the perfect addition to like a coin flip deck or something, But anyway, moving on from that, I don't mind the randomness of this. I don't think it's necessarily a downside. My next pick would be Norwood Priestess.
Yeah,
which is
I like this card.
Yes, essentially the same thing as one of your other picks in another set here. But it's 2 colorless and 2 green, which is slightly different than the Elvish Piper, 3 colorless and a green. So slightly less easy to cast. It's essentially the same card, though. You can tap it. It's a 1/1, like anyone cares. But You can tap it to put a green creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. But you may activate this ability only during your turn before attackers are declared, because that's what Portal did. It made cards shittier just by including that sentence. So.
Yeah, I mean, the timing thing has always been an issue. I either have this or had a copy of it. Because it is an elf druid, and I have a druid tribal deck. But it's been expensive for a really long time, so I'm not surprised that people don't play it that much.
Yeah,
it's actually a really good card. I mean, it's especially in mono green, it's better than an Elvish Piper.
Do you think so?
In mono green, it is. I mean, because you don't have to pay anything to activate. I guess the timing, it's arguable.
It's a trade-off.
I still like it.
Yeah, I think in any deck that you really want this effect, you probably want both, but whatever.
Yeah.
Because again, yes, the timing is on one, you have to pay for Elvish Piper, but whatever. I don't know. I think it's still really good. Again, folks, just, I was about to say do yourself a favor, but don't do yourself. This is the opposite of doing yourself a favor. To scroll through the list of Portal Second Age cards. It's slim pickings.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah. So thankfully we can kind of close the door on Portal Second Age, and go on to one of the most overpowered and ridiculous sets ever, Urza Saga. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole block, right? Was pretty insane.
Yes. Totally amazing. So many cards that I wish were not on the reserve list, which should never be reprinted, but whatever.
I know. So this next one is Exhume.
It's an interesting pick. I don't know. I have debated putting this in decks many times and never actually done it.
Man, this card is so good in the right deck.
Okay. Again, another reason why I wish I had picked up that stupid Graveborn deck and I never did.
I mean, it's still only $2. Like, Exhume was a common, so it's not an expensive card.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it was in the Graveborn thing. And it is 1 and a black for a sorcery that says each player chooses a creature card from his or her graveyard and puts that creature into play. This is just a great turn to play, early game in general, if you're in some kind of dredge style deck, where you can, entomb turn 1, turn 2 exhume. Nobody else has anything in their graveyards, you get a giant beater.
Yeah. I mean, this is like your backup strategy for reanimate, right? Like
right.
Or maybe sometimes just like you don't want to take a life hit from reanimate. It is a universal effect, so you got to be careful of that. But if you're doing it right, like you're milling yourself more, or entombing creatures more than your other players, so you can probably get around that.
Or just play Leyline of the Void, and then you can exhume, and it's not a problem.
Also true. Yeah. What's Leyline of the Void going for now?
That's probably on the expensive side. I'm not sure.
So yeah, maybe just pick up Exhume and I don't know, look through people's graveyards. That's public knowledge, right?
$25.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a little much. Maybe just go look over the table and be like, what do you got in there? All right.
Right. Yeah, do that. Or, I mean, there's a million things that can get specific cards out of people's graveyards, Yeah.
I mean, hey, this could also be a political card too,
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's interesting. It's one of those things I'm like the reciprocity of this card has made me stay away from it, but it's only $2, and I should probably just buy it. So.
I think that it's a really good card. I think that if played correctly, I mean, it's a bit of a skill tester, and something that might sit in your hand some games, but it is a very good card.
Yeah, certainly cheap enough. So.
Yeah, your next one is also a very good card.
Yes. In fact, it's so good, it's even in the name. So, greater. That was such a fucking lame transition.
This is better good.
Yeah.
Good or good.
It better be good. So it's greater good. I love this card so much. I mean, everyone who hasn't played it, it's not like this is like secret tech or anything, but 2 colorless and 2 green. You sacrifice a creature. It's a green enchantment, by the way. You sacrifice a creature for no mana. Draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power, and then choose and discard 3 cards. So
I thought this was printed more than twice.
no, well, I mean, there's a judge gift, so technically it was. And actually,
I don't count those, but yeah,
I suppose.
yeah, technically.
The judge gift art is actually kind of dope. I'm not sure what the fuck's going on there, but it's
neither am I.
It's like some weird druid dude who's getting like eaten alive by leeches. That's some weird shit. But I like the 9th edition art quite a bit.
I like the fact that both the 9th edition and the judge promo have the same flavor text.
Oh yeah, they both have that Mary Shelley quote. Huh.
Yeah,
was that the last
really
time?
Cool.
Yeah, was that the last time that Magic decided to do like the literature
to be. 9th
quotes?
edition seems really late. I didn't think that they were even doing it then.
I do remember occasionally I would see some in 9th edition. I just don't remember it on Greater Good. But I do really like that. I mean, it's a great quote for this. I wish they would kind of bring that back when they would just throw like the random Shakespeare quotes on shit.
I loved that.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. So, anyway, Greater Good is amazing in so many different contexts. That's why its price has creeped up to the now $15. This would have been a phenomenal one to put in that master set. Like, this would have been okay. How about this? I'll just throw this out there. Maybe bump this one up to Mythic and pop out Tree of Perdition. It would have been a great choice, but it would have been a better choice.
It would have been better though. I would have been much more okay with Greater Good being in there. Yeah, well, especially since they reprinted Prosh too.
Yeah, that would have been ridiculous in the same set. So, Greater Good.
They really should have put a food chain in it.
Food Chain is, I mean, we'll get to it because that's one of your other picks, but man, Food Chain I always slept on for the longest time until I realized, I'm like, wait a minute.
This card's stupid good.
Yes. This card isn't just maggots coming out of the ground. This is like one of the most broken cards in Magic.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's $40 now.
Exactly. So anyway, your next card, speaking of one of my favorite cards in Magic.
My next card is something that entire archetypes are named after. Smokestack. Yes. Otherwise known as the Stacks deck.
Yes.
Smokestack. What?
No, I'm just silently orgasming on this side. I love this card so much.
It's a real good one. And it's one that I actually like the From the Vault Annihilation art.
Hell yeah.
More.
Yeah, because you got that H.R. Geiger thing going on, right?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. But so it is a 4-mana artifact, and it says at the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a soot counter on Smokestack. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a permanent for each soot counter on Smokestack.
I feel like I could write like a really shitty poem to Smokestack. Oh, how I love thee. Let me count the ways. Number 1, soot counters. Oh, man. I mean, this card is amazing. It's cheap still. It's only $5. Like, you have your choice of...
Even if you wanted to use it at its very worst, it's like 4 mana, everybody sacks one thing. Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of games, I have played this and I've just kept 1 soot counter on there. Because it's a May, right? The fact that it's a May is one of the best parts because you don't have to tick this up. It's not like, it's not a Clock of Doom, or whatever, Armageddon Clock or whatever. Like you can choose, you can vary it up. I've also used like Hex Parasite to remove counters from shit. Or other ways to take things off of it. Like it's very variable. You can sacrifice it to itself. I don't know. It's really good. I probably own like 5 copies of this card.
I think I only have 1, oddly. And it's not that expensive. It's $6, but I think not quite as bad as Mass Land Destruction. People really hate playing against stacks.
Yes. People fucking and this is one of those times where I will tell people when I sit down at a table, I'm like, look, I really like Smokestack. I want to get that out there. It's in the deck. If you have like a weird moral problem with it, you might want to stop playing with me now. So just throwing it out there. I love this card. It's amazing.
Yep. Your next one is a pretty good one though.
Yeah, my next one is definitely, I was so excited when this thing got reprinted. And I still haven't bought it, even though I really need to. So, Sneak Attack. was one of my favorite things in Eternal Masters. It's a 3 colorless and a red. It's an enchantment. It's a very simple, very cheap, and incredibly abusable power. Is you pay 1 red, and you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste. Sacrifice the creature at the beginning of the next end step.
Yeah, it's just good, and like almost every way. Like,
yeah. Like is there a time you wouldn't want to use this, Adam? I don't know. I can't think of one.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in like some kind of weird like weenie deck, but
I mean, it's so good, man.
It really is. It does all the things.
Yeah, it does. Like, do you need a blocker? Do you need a crazy abuse enter the battlefield effects? Do you want to play shenanigans with your graveyard? Like,
yes, and yes.
Yes,
I want to do all of those things.
All the above. And thankfully, it even brought the price down because this was a $50 card in the original up until it got reprinted, and now it's like $21 for the reprint, like $21.50 for the reprint. It's hovering around $30 for the original. This is also one of the ones, like, I don't always like the cartoony style of old Urza Saga, but I really love the original art on this. So,
yeah.
It reminds me. Go ahead.
I think I like both. In very different ways. I'm good with both arts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with the new art. The new art's a little, funky. Sure, whatever. I'm pro old art on this one. So.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I can't say anything bad about the old art. Looks good.
Yeah, fine. I think we definitely have to have words about the art for your Urza's Legacy pick. So.
I don't remember it, so I'm going to bring it up right now, but you might be right.
You don't remember the art for this one?
No.
Anyway, this is like one of the ones that made me. It's one of the few questionable Rebecca Gay arts.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so
it's real bad.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're combined on this one.
That's supposed to be who? Multani?
I think so.
I think that this was either intended to be or is a important scene from the story.
Sure.
Like it's Multani meeting with somebody else, blah, blah, blah. But regardless of that, Defense of the Heart is a good card.
Defense of the Heart, good card. We can't defend the art.
No.
On Defense of the Heart.
No Defense of the Art.
But
at the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls 3 or more creatures, sacrifice Defense of the Heart, search your library for up to 2 creature cards, put those cards onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. It's an enchantment that costs 3 and a green. This is just really good.
Yeah, this is a card that I'm always continually surprised is not $50. Like, it's only $10.
Yeah.
Like, why is this only $10? Like,
and it's not unreprintable. It's not on the reserved list.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of ridiculously amazing. So, yeah. Like, especially in a multiplayer format, where probably odds are, like a 4 in 10 shot that someone's playing tokens.
Right.
You at, turn 5, conservatively, will get 2 free creature cards. Your 2 strongest cards onto the battlefield.
Well, I mean, you just win.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you can just
get Pestermite and Kiki Jiki and you win.
Sure, that's a way to do it if you want to be awful. So, yeah.
Or Palinchron and, Phantasmal Image or whatever.
Hey, opponents, can you please enable my combo for free? So,
right.
Yeah. It seems good.
Yeah, no, this card is very good. I think it's great. I don't think it sees as much play in EDH as it used to, and it probably should.
I think it's just because people forgot about it. Like
your next one got a reprint not that long ago, right? A few years ago?
Yeah, Commander 2014, man.
Yeah.
In the best deck of
and
Commander 2014.
It's a very good card.
Speaking of shenanigans, Goblin Welder is one of my favorite cards, I think, in red. It's 1 red. That goes a long way to it, too. Like, 1 red, 1/1 Goblin Artificer. Who cares? The ability is the thing that everyone loves it for. Tap it to choose target artifact a player controls and target artifact card in that player's graveyard. If both targets are still legal as this ability resolves, that player simultaneously sacrifices the artifact and returns the artifact card to the battlefield.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
And by target player, you mean you.
Yes. I mean, you can do this. I have done this to other people just to be
I've done
shit.
it too, but it's usually not a good play.
I would only do it if I had like untapped shenanigans and I had, I don't know, like if the opportunity arose where like, I don't know, someone hit me with a Vandal Blast and they still had mana rocks out or something, and I could like do shenanigans that way.
Right.
But that's like such an offhand thing. Most of the time, you're just dumping ridiculously powerful like you're dumping a worm coil engine in your graveyard, and you're like sacking a mana rock,
a fire diamond for it.
yeah, or something stupid. Like it's amazing. Yeah. So, which you could do that in the pre-con, could you not?
I
think you could, because I think
don't know
worm
if it had
coil was in
coil,
there.
but it definitely had other big stuff.
Pretty sure it had worm coil too.
It may have, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's one of the most amazing, I think, red artifact shenanigans in the game.
Yeah, I mean it's a definite, like, if you played Duretti or some other red-based artifact deck, like, it goes in there.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah.
It's not like a slow bad where you like have to be like really working toward that. No, Goblin Welder just goes in.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Oh, and worm coil totally was in Commander 2014.
Nice.
And is back up to $25 again.
Jesus.
I mean, it's one of the best.
It's a good card. I mean, yeah.
One of the best finishers ever printed. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
So anyway, amazing card. What's your next one? Speaking of artifact shenanigans,
next one is 75 cents.
well, fancy.
It is Viashino Heretic. So 2 and a red for a Viashino 1/3, and you can pay 1 and a red, tap it to destroy target artifact. Viashino Heretic deals damage to that artifact controller equal to its converted mana cost. It's just kind of all value all the time. Like, yeah, he's a 1/3, so he dies to a lot of stuff, but doesn't die to everything, I mean, he's not just gonna die to, like, the first trigger of Pestilence or something like that. And he can block tokens and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, that ability is just very good.
I mean, even if, worst case scenario, if someone wasted removal on this guy, I would be happy with that trade.
Yeah.
Like, if you path my Viashino Heretic, I think I made out in that trade.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you didn't...
This used to see a lot more play in EDH than it does now.
That is true, too. Like, I love this card, because I picked it up after someone played it against me.
Right.
I'm like, oh my god, it's a stupid amazing card. It's still just an uncommon from Urza's Legacy, like, easily... It should have been reprinted at some point.
Right.
Like, this would have been another awesome pick for Masters 25.
Absolutely. I think what ended up happening with this card is I think that Vandal Blast became so prevalent.
Yes, Vandal Blast is the most amazing artifact destruction card ever printed. So.
Right. I mean, but I think it ended up eating a slot that Viashino Heretic was probably in before.
Fair enough.
So that it just doesn't see as much play. But it is still worth playing. It is very good.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, for me, because I just love this effect, like, it's between this and Hammer Mage that I usually go back and forth on. I'm like,
yeah.
Do I feel
Hammer Mage is interesting, yeah.
I'm like, do I feel like discarding a card? And sometimes I do. Like, if it's in the Felden deck, I'm like, I will probably put Hammer Mage above Viashino Heretic.
Right.
But you never know. Like, I love me some Viashino Heretic.
All right, so you're going to have to defend this next one to me a little bit.
I was salty that you didn't really like this last time around, sir. And I will stand up for this as one of the more underrated mono green commanders.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Big words.
Big word, big guy. So,
yeah,
but how could you not say this has got to be off the bat in a multiplayer game one of the biggest power and toughness creatures on the board?
Yeah.
So, it is also on the reprint, on the reserve list, so it's never going to get reprinted.
It's also going to just get chumped all day, every day.
Fine. Multani Morrow Sorcerer is a 4 mana, 4 colorless and 2 green, so 6 mana, legend. Technically elemental, I think.
Yeah.
And he's got Shroud, which is pretty good on your commander. And Multani Morrow Sorcerer's power and toughness are each equal to the total number of cards in all players' hands.
Yeah. I mean, he has good things going on.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't even fling him?
Yes, you can't fling him. You can't greater good him. You can't do a lot of things with him except beat people in the...
No, you can greater good him, right?
He's got Shroud, though, right? Isn't that an ability?
Yeah, but you don't have to target it. You just sacrifice a creature.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, okay. All right. This is me not knowing rules. So, yeah, sure. Oh, and that would be ridiculous, too. So,
that would be ridiculous. I'm not going to take that away. That would be ridiculous.
That would be, I like gaining, 27 cards. Anyway, Multani Morrow Sorcerer, how much how much do you need to do to make this guy really good? Like, you just give him trample? Is there so like literally you just have 1,000 ways to give trample? Like, without targeting? It's not that hard.
No, it's not.
I mean, you don't. Yeah, you can't put equipment on him. Fucking who cares?
All right, he's maybe all right.
Like, you literally just have to have any kind of evasion on this dude. Like, I don't know. He's really good, and he becomes a one shot. Like, anyone you aim him towards.
He's almost always a one shot. I will give you that. If you connect with him, he's probably gonna kill someone.
Yeah. So there should be some kind of upside, right? Like, if he's already got Shroud, right? So you already can't target him.
Right.
He's gonna stick around at least for a little while until, yeah, you could wrath him, sure. You could do any other things that you could do to permanents. That's fine. But, like, he's legitimately one of the biggest, always gonna be in a multiplayer game, one of the biggest creatures on the board, and that just appeals to my inner Timmy. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think he's only $6. Like, and he's on the reserve list, so probably maybe buy him if you ever want to play with that. So, because he's gonna get it more expensive.
I'll pass.
Oh, for shame, sir, for shame. Well, moving on, let us round out the block here with Urza's Destiny. Adam, I will also freely admit to never being able to tell any of these symbols apart. Like, I know.
No, I don't know which one's which. Nope.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't really care.
I think I can usually get Saga. Saga's the gears, right?
Yeah, it's funny because I usually get Destiny because Destiny's the beaker, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Legacy is the hammer. The beaker doesn't say Destiny to me.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm like, oh.
It's like, of all the icons you could pick for Destiny.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Erlenmeyer Flask, go. Anyway, so what's your first pick for Urza's Destiny?
My first pick actually did get reprinted.
Very true.
Elvish Piper.
Yeah.
It's a 3 and a green for an elf shaman. 1/1 that says pay green, tap, and you can put a creature card from hand onto the battlefield. Pretty straightforward. I like it.
I like this card, sir. It is a good pick.
Yeah. It wasn't like a necessary reprint because even the one from Urza's Destiny is only like $6.
Yeah.
And some of the other editions are around $6. The newest one, I guess most of them, other than Masters 25. The Masters 25 one is only $3. All the rest of them are around $6 or $7. So that's not bad. Not bad value.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only question there is like, what art do you want to go with?
And Rebecca Gay.
Yeah. I mean, true. Yeah.
Like when there's a question that Rebecca Gay is a possible answer in the art, it's almost always the correct answer.
I kind of like this. I kind of like the original art though.
The original art is interesting.
The original art is just like, what the fuck? I don't know. And the 7th edition art is like most 7th edition art. Like, it kind of sucks. It's kind of neat because it implies he's about to get fucking eaten by the thing in the cave. So I kind of like that. I don't know. I kind of like the Scott M. Fisher art. It's just, it's stupid enough to appeal to me on a dumb level. But
yeah.
Really good card. Oh, my first pick, is, I don't know, one of my favorite artifacts ever printed. So, which is ironic because your second pick is maybe one of my top 5 artifacts ever printed. This one is...
Yeah, yours though is,
it's really good. And also it used to be banned. Yeah. So good it used to be banned. And now unbanned. And you have no idea how much I literally cheered out loud when I read this unbanning a few years ago. So
it was a really bad idea.
It's so good. What are you talking about? Whatever. Just because you can make redonkulous amounts of mana. Who cares?
So much mana.
Just fucking look the other way. It's no big deal. Metalworker is a 3 colorless artifact. It's very simple. It's a 1/2. Who gives a shit? It's very simple. Effect is to tap it. You reveal any number of artifact cards in your hand, and you add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool for each card revealed this way.
Yeah.
Nice little repeatable effect. Thankfully there's no way to abuse tapping and untapping shenanigans in a mono colored deck.
No.
That would be truly broken. If there was a way to easily do this. So thankfully.
Yeah. No. We're good. You definitely can't tap it, untap it, tap it, untap it, tap it, untap it on everybody's turn on winding clock.
I was going to go with Voltaic Construct.
Yeah, that too.
Which is possibly one of the easiest ways to make it, because Voltaic Construct costs 2 to untap target artifact creature. So
yeah, no, this is all busted all the time.
Yeah, so good. Love it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that it's on the reprint policy. It's on the reserve list, rather.
Yeah, it really...
It's never going to get any cheaper than like the $36 I think it's at right now, which is unfortunate. Also because like the old school art, like first of all, what the hell else has Don Hazelton ever done? But I don't know, like 5 other cards in Magic, and it looks like. Do you remember the old? I'm talking like 1940s Superman cartoons. Like that's what this reminds me of. Yeah. That art style,
like a villain from that.
Yeah, totally does. It's just like
this is what Lex Luthor built this week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Metalworker. So.
I think Metalworker is very cool, and very powerful Magic card. And yes, it should get reprinted, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Thankfully, your card has gotten reprinted.
My card has gotten reprinted. Still honestly used for whatever reason, it retains value. So 3 in Dynamo.
Yes, sir.
4 mana for an artifact that says tap and add 3 mana to your mana pool. That's the end of that story.
I wish that the Wingdings were not a thing, because then I would buy the Iconic Masters version. But I own so many copies of this card. I'm not kidding.
I actually think I might need 1 more copy, so for $3, that's not bad.
Yeah, I think the answer is you always need another copy of Thrawn Dynamo.
Yeah, I think I only have 2.
I have like 7.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's a very good card. If you've not played with it, just play it. I mean, you put it in almost every deck.
Yes.
It's
by definition.
Very similar to like a Soul Ring. Like, you want a good mana rock, a Thran Dynamo is almost always really good.
Yeah, like when do you not want like 3 extra mana?
I think the only time that you shy away from this and go more toward like Signets or Chromatic Lantern is if you're in like 3+ colors. I don't auto put Thran Dynamo in.
That's a good point. Yep, that is true. Yeah, it is. It can be tough to justify in a multicolored deck.
Right.
Other than that, like Thrawn Dynamo is amazing.
No, absolutely. Yeah. There's no question. It's an EDH staple. It has been for years. Keep on keeping on, Thran.
Yeah. One of the few times I think they really nailed the iconic part of Iconic Masters.
Yeah, I mean that is an iconic card.
Yeah. Oh, holy God! This card's like $8 now.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh my goodness. My next pick is not on the reserve list, but is a rare from Urza's Destiny, Repercussion. Repercussion is 1 colorless and 2 red, an enchantment. Whenever a creature is dealt damage, Repercussion deals that much damage to that creature's controller.
Yep.
I think the best this card has ever been is when someone decided to chump block me, and I used a Vidalcan Ori to flash this in.
Nice.
That was like the most magical Christmas land this has ever been. But I like putting this down just to have people sometimes avoid chump blocks. Because there's literally, there's no point in chump blocking.
I like just putting this down after I play Pyrrhemia.
Yes, that's another really good one too.
I'm like, oh, I'm going to sacrifice all my creatures to Goblin Bombardment, and then I'm going to activate Pyrrhemia a lot. You guys die.
Yeah. Repercussion is just so cool. I don't know. This is another thing that makes me want to do that mono red Enchantress deck. Because it's just so many ridiculously good, like, red enchantments from back in the day.
The problem that you end up with in a mono red Enchantress deck is you don't have any of the Enchantresses, right? Like
yes.
You're not
a
drawing
problem.
cards off of anything you're doing, which is the only real problem.
Yeah, and it's also mono red. So, yeah, card draw.
Yeah, but you can, I mean, you can make mono red work. Yeah, mono red card draw, not as much.
Yep. So, it's just I don't know, it's just a really cool, neat effect. You will find this, like, a temporary effect in other cards. Or sometimes you'll find it I think it's on a creature somewhere. Like, this effect is a thing. You know, like when you deal this much damage to a creature, it deals that much damage to the creature's controller. Actually, white usually gets that effect, in weird ways.
Does it?
What's that card? Didn't we call it
like Pariah?
Yeah, or there's that other one, like when you do damage to a creature, it deals that much damage to the creature's controller. It was on like our last show when we did this. It was like our portal. Anyway.
There's a lot of
cards.
There are a lot of cards.
There's literally tens of thousands of cards. So yeah, it's tough sometimes. But Repercussion's really good, and I like it. And it should have gotten a reprint.
Agreed.
Yeah. Next one.
Next one, we are moving over to Portal 3 Kingdoms.
And we can kind of cruise through this, I would assume, because we just kind of...
We did do this fairly recently, so we'll go pretty quickly. And my first one is basically a reprint of something I said earlier. Control the Court is everything I said about Goblin lore and how great that was. Control the Court's the exact same card except for $95.
Yeah, I'll probably play Goblin lore instead. I don't know.
Yeah. Which is $30. I mean, it's just an expensive effect, apparently.
Yeah. My next one is one of my favorite black cards ever printed, and Adam doesn't like it. So, Zhao Dun the One-Eyed. It's an amazing card. I don't know. Next.
Yeah.
It's really good. I'm glad that people in the comment section were on my side. So.
They were. They really were. So like I said, I mean, I haven't seen it in action, so maybe I'm just wrong here, but I wasn't feeling it. My next one is a $100 card that, by God, okay, I understand they gave us Imperial Recruiter, and this is me just being greedy. But this should have been one of the green mythics.
Yes. Yes, it should have.
Okay. Riding the Dilu horse.
Still.
+2/+2 and horsemanship for the rest of the game.
Yeah. I mean, also one of the best, like, innuendo cards in all of Magic. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
I think somebody on our Portal 3 Kingdoms episode was like, I can't imagine, like, you missed a lot of the innuendo for riding the Dilu horse.
No, we didn't.
Didn't we get on a tear about some other card?
Yeah. Every single time. I don't think. Here we go. Here's an innuendo-laden sidetrack for people who wanted it for this card. I remember clearly, and this is what this card reminds me of every time. I think it must have been after my dad turned 50. So I was probably in like middle school. And I remember my dad came home from a doctor's appointment, and he was wicked fucking pissed off. I mean, my dad was like an angry guy most of the time. Anyways, he was an ex-Marine, like kind of angry, like kind of fit the stereotype.
Yeah.
So like he came home and he was just wicked pissed, and I'm like, hey pops, what's up? And he's like, he just looked at me and he just said one line and he walked off and he goes, just wait till you're old enough to ride the fucking Silver Stallion, boy. And he just walked off. And I didn't know what he meant, and then I got old enough to know what he meant, and I'm like, okay, I know.
I actually still don't know what that means.
He had to go and get a prostate check, man. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, and apparently they took his rectal temperature at the same time. Like,
gotcha.
Yeah. So that was uncomfortable for probably those reasons. I mean.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I did not. I honestly have never heard that.
Really? I mean, I had not heard it up to that point either, but that is literally what this card makes me think of every single time.
All right. Well.
So there we go. My other one is a guy riding a horse, but in a much less sexualized manner.
Yes.
Sun Quan, Lord of...
hard not to be.
Yes. Sun Quan, Lord of Wu. I like horsemanship. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's,
Yeah, it's very good, man.
Pretty basic.
Yeah, pretty basic. Stuff gets horsemanship, including Sun Quan. Probably buy it. So.
Yeah. Agreed.
Next. Started in 1999.
Yeah, after we got out of the era of Portal, we got Starter, which was effectively the same product, right?
Yeah, like, again, the hardest part about this was trying to find shit that wasn't printed somewhere else.
I know. Well, this one was. This was printed in the original Portal.
Devastation?
Yeah.
Huh, interesting. I
and
scooped
it was Starter in 99.
Well,
so
whatever.
I stand by my pick.
Yeah.
Let's reprint Devastation. This is a $20 card that says destroy all creatures and all lands. Costs 5 red for a sorcery.
Yeah.
Enough said, really. I mean, it does that.
That's true. Yeah, it goes along with our mass land destruction segment. Yep. Mine also destroys some lands, because that's what it used to do back in the 90s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Goblin Settler, 3 colorless and a red. Whenever Goblin Settler comes into play, destroy target land.
Yeah, and I want to say that I've seen something recently where this was, okay, so this is an uncommon from Starter 99, okay? It's $42.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I want to say that this actually sees play in some kind of legacy build.
It would fucking have to for $42. Like, what the shit? I remember when this card, not so long ago, I mean, recurring segment, take a drink, whatever the fuck you want to say. Like, I remember when this card was much cheaper. So, I don't get why it's...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we say that.
Yeah, we say that. Yes, take a drink, people.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, destroy. It does what it says on the card. It's pretty good. So.
Yeah.
Your next one also does what it says on the card, but I really like it.
Yeah, Man of War. And it was, again, not from Starter 99. I think Man of War was originally printed in, Mirage.
Visions, I believe.
Visions, thank you.
Close enough.
Yeah, I was close, but not quite there. And it's 2 and a blue for a 2/2. I'm doing this from memory. Sorry, I didn't bring it up. 2/2 that says when it enters the battlefield, return target creature to its owner's hand.
Yeah. Does still retain the portal art, which I think is the best, which is a jellyfish eating a shark.
Oh, the shark thing? Yeah. A lot of people are, I do personally like the original one.
Yeah, that one's fine, but it's not as cool as eating a shark. So
the jellyfish shark thing is that's pretty cool.
It's really good. I don't know. The Vision's common is like 20 cents. It's also in Masters 25, so it's 15 cents with the original art.
Right.
Apparently the original art is the favorite art because it's the thing that got reprinted the most. I will always take the portal art because it's eating a fucking jellyfish. So
yeah,
the jellyfish eating a shark. So it's really good. Next one is a card that one of those cards that I think I somehow acquired over the years and have never actually played, but I like anyway. So I guess this makes me a hypocrite. I don't know. Shrieking Spectre is a 5 colorless and a black Spectre. That sounds like a bad investment for a Spectre. But it has a neat little ability that other Spectres do not. In that most time, Spectres in Magic have to deal some kind of combat damage to make a defending player discard a card. Shrieking Spectre just has to attack.
Yeah.
So when Shrieking Spectre...
6 mana for 2. Jesus, that's...
yeah. That sounds about like 90s level.
That is rough.
six mana for 2, baby. Yeah. Hey, it's got flying.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Which also makes me wonder, like, why did you bother to put evasion on something that has the ability, like, has an activated ability upon attack? But whatever. It's, I guess they had to justify the 6 mana. So, I like it whenever, like, the fact that it just has to attack to get the defending player to discard a card is really good. So,
I like some of the design elements here. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I would ever play this card.
This is a bad card, but it goes into that bad cards we love category for me, anyway. Also because the art looks like, I don't know, like Terry Gilliam was having a bad trip. So, like, I'm down with that. Like, the art is so ridiculous. So, yeah, man, like, it's $1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad, but whatever. It's people, what do you want? It's starter 1999 for Christ's sakes. So, let's move on to our last set for the show, which is actually a really good set. So, Mercadian Masques.
Yeah, there's a surprising amount. I don't know why. I mean, I was not playing during Mercadian Masques, but I always think of Mercadian Masques as not being a good set, but there were some pretty decent cards in here.
Yeah, if you come back to Mercadian Masques as a legacy, well, not a legacy player, like an eternal player, right, in an eternal format like Commander, you're like, if you look through some of your decks, right, and you look at some of the most powerful effects in Magic, Mercadian Masques is actually ridiculously strong. And it has a lot of stuff which is worth investing in. So, your first one being one of the best ones.
Yeah, so my first one is Bribery. So 3 blue, and you get to search target opponent's library for a creature card and put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle his or her library.
Yeah, that seems like it justifies the $20 price tag.
Yeah, it's just really, like, I don't know if there's that many effects that can do this to your own deck for $5.
Yeah, seriously. Like,
let alone somebody else's. Like, it's just, like, cause take the exact same card. 3 green, search your library for a creature card and put it into play. Does that card even exist?
It's called the Conclave. Called the something.
Oh, Court of Calling?
Yeah, Court of Calling. What does that do? Court of Calling, is that?
I mean, it's 3 green and X.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So no, you would have to, it's got Convoke though.
It does have Convoke, yeah.
I guess. So but, the closest you get
I mean, like I would play the hell out of that card.
Yes. I mean, but Bribery, like,
does somebody else, which is even better?
Yeah. Like, Bribery, so you get the best thing in anyone else's deck.
Right, exactly. Like,
for 5 mana.
Mine.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, tell me if I'm like being hyperbolic here, but one of the best cards, one of the strongest cards ever printed? Like,
I mean, I think a little bit hyperbolic. It is a very good card.
Like, this
I don't know. I actually don't know.
But I think you have to have the conversation, right? Like, whether or not you come down on that, like, you think you have to have that conversation. Because this is literally,
I would agree with that.
This is the Eldrazi out of anybody's deck. This is the biggest anything out of anyone's deck for 5. So, not on the reprint policy because we reprinted an 8th edition. The 8th edition one is actually strange.
And that one should have been reprinted. I mean, come on.
Yes, 100%. Bribery should have been reprinted, even though the blue slots in Masters 25 is pretty thick with amazing cards. Bribery is very, very good. Like, this could have hit the rare slot in blue. Like, what was the rare slot in blue?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're amazing. Like, 100%. This would have sold packs.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, if you had a chance of cracking this at rare, I think this is 100% would have sold some packs. It's amazing. Like, I don't care. I think I own 2 copies of this card. I can't think of a reason not to buy another one except I'm cheap. So,
I mean, I think that's really the only actual reason. But yeah, it's very, very good.
Yeah. The next card is also very, very good. And I'm really glad it's recently, like, someone else figured out in, 2015 or 2014, whenever they were designing Commander 2015, someone else figured out this card was amazing and needed reprints, because it's been reprinted twice since then. So, Black Market, 3 colorless and 2 black. Man, the 5 mana slot in Mercadian Masques, really good. It's an enchantment. Whenever a creature dies, put a charge counter on Black Market. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add 1 black to your mana pool for each charge counter on Black Market.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play this that much. I play it in a couple certain decks. But yeah, I mean, this has been an EDH staple. Like,
when do creatures not die?
Right.
Who doesn't want more mana? I don't know. You know?
Yeah, it's very good. I mean, I don't like where it falls on the curve.
Yeah, 5 mana is really hard. So,
but other than that, it's it's very good, and it will almost always ramp you a good deal.
Yes. There are plenty of ways to ramp in mono black, but this doesn't have to exclusively be mono black. In fact, most of the time I play this in a Golgari, etc. deck. You know,
right?
There are plenty of ways to just do redonkulous things with counters too. So, there's enough ways to abuse this. That Black Market, the people who play against me know not to let Black Market sit around unless they want to die. So, because you generate that many extra resources over a few turns and you've just outpaced pretty much everybody at the table, particularly if you're just doing ridiculous things like generating stupid amounts of tokens and sacrificing them all. And it's really good. Next, speaking of sacrificing things, this seems like an alright card.
Yeah, so we talked about this earlier, and it does need a reprint pretty badly.
Yep.
Because it's $40, and we have Food Chain. Food Chain is 2 and a green for an enchantment that says, exile a creature you control, add X mana of any 1 color to your mana pool, where X is the exiled creature's converted mana cost plus 1. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells. This card is so busted.
Yes. This card literally feeds combos out the wazoo. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really, 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 really good.
Yeah. I think it's funny because, you look at the rulings on this card, and it's, I don't know, the mana may be used to pay additional costs, such as Kicker. The mana may not be used to pay costs imposed after the spell is initially cast. Okay, that's the only real drawback to this? What's the drawback? Exiling a creature? You're exiling tokens. Come on.
Right.
So, I don't know, pure upside? The funny part is this card was not super expensive until Parash got printed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes infinite with Parash, right?
Yeah, 100%. But it's funny that, I mean, the card was always amazing on its own. I don't own a Parash deck, I own Parash.
Right.
But I don't play a Parash deck, but I would still play this. I would, the story I always tell about Food Chain is I originally bought this card because it was cheap and I was building a Reese the Redeemed other 99 deck. I already had the doubling seasons and stupid other things, and I'm I just need something to make some mana in a token deck. This card's not that expensive. It seems okay. And then Parash got reprinted, and I'm oh, that was a good investment. So,
yeah.
Food Chain. God, I wish this thing wasn't $40.
I know, because I don't have one, and I do need one.
It's almost like it would be perfect for a Tree of Redemption slot in a Masters 25 set.
Yeah, it would have been great there. Or a Master of the Wild Hunt slot.
Oh, come on, Master of the Wild Hunt.
He could have been a rare. He didn't need to be.
He totally could have been a rare. But anyway, Food Chain, it's amazing. Food Chain, I would not be sorry to see get reprinted at Mythic.
Yeah.
That's just that powerful. So
no, that's a strong card. That's fine.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Speaking of cards that need a reprint, and then just recently got one, thankfully, because this card was creeping up there. And
it was stupid expensive, but then it like went to nothing after the reprint.
Yeah. How mad are you if you bought this card at $30, which it was going for?
I know.
Like, how pissed would you be?
72 cents now.
Oh shit. Yeah. So, misdirection. Again, one of the times where I will totally stand up for the original art, because like, what the fuck is going on with this? You know, like, you're
that is some art right there.
That is some art. You are swapping
Paolo
some
Parente
heads.
did a lot of stuff in Mercadian Masques, didn't he?
He did. Paolo Parente had some, and like a lot of his stuff I kind of like, because it's a weird, like, comic booky, weird, you know, like, I don't want to just use weird, but fucking
no, but
Parente's
like
art
heavy
is
black
strange.
lines and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very strange, but I do like the new art too that came out. It got reprinted. Misdirection also got reprinted in Conspiracy, which is when the price dropped, and then it got reprinted in that dual deck Merfolk versus Goblins, which is where it dropped in fucking nothing. So
yeah, it's not even money anymore.
Yeah, 72 cents, $3 in the original. Nothing like literally decimating the value of your card.
Yeah.
So anyway, Misdirection is 3 colors and 2 blue, but you're never paying that, so who gives a shit? It's an instant with my favorite clause in Magic. We did a whole show about this, about paying alternate costs. You may exile a blue card from your hand rather than pay Misdirection's mana cost. Change the target of target spell with a single target. So
yep.
Got 2 of my favorite things going on. 1, you can pay an alternate cost, and then 2, you can swap targets of shit. So yes, please.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I'm good.
It's good.
And there's really no reason not to at least try it out, especially in a mono blue deck, because you're going to have extra blue cards, and you're going to want to change the target of kill spells, etc. I don't know. Like, I've changed the target of, like, ramp spells, just to be a dick sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play a lot of the change target stuff, but I have 100% gotten hosed by them before. So I probably should play more of them than I do.
I mean, the answer is, like, I didn't used to play these cards until someone else. I was at a table. I did none of these things. It's one of these times when you watch a cool thing happen, you're like, oh fuck, I should do that. When you watch someone like redirect a time walk, you know, or not a time walk, or like a time warp or something like that. You know, when you redirect, like, a target player takes an extra turn spell, and you're like, he did that for no mana. Like, I want to do that for no mana. You know? Yeah. That's really good. So it's
redirect your villain as well.
Yeah, like, yes, please. Again, like, fucking A, man. It's 72 cents. Like, what do you? I can understand if you don't want to play this card if it was $30. You know, even at $3, but like 72 cents. Fucking, I can sneeze and find 75 cents on my couch. So come on, you can just get on it, people. Like, it's really good. And with that, folks, we are wrapping up this segment of our best 25 years of Magic. So, if you guys have any of your favorite picks that maybe we looked over, or something you think we forgot, I mean, there's so many amazing things in Urza's block that we could have talked about and didn't talk about, for various reasons. You know, there's only so much time.
There's so much, yeah.
You know, even in Mercadian Masques, there's so many good cards.
I still honestly would do, like, a retrospective of every single set. Like, I'm fine with starting with Alpha and going, like, let's talk about this card.
I like that idea in principle, right? But then you get to Portal Second Age, you know? Then you get to the starter 99, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there are some sets.
There are some highs and some lows, you know?
You have to slog through.
Yeah, not all sets are created equal.
That's true.
But anyway, stick with us, folks, because we're going to wrap up our tech segment and move right to the outro. 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 It's the outro song. Yeah. I didn't really like my own outro song.
You committed to it.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I'm not going to just stop doing it just because I don't like a bit. Like, I'm not going to... Come on, man. Outro. Well, Adam, we have come to the end of another outro. Another segment of another show.
Yeah.
It's sad. But fear not, dear listener, because we'll be back next week. However, if you want to get in touch with us, Adam, if people want to tell you how much they really liked Masters 25, I guarantee there are people out there that really like Masters 25.
There probably are some people who were pretty hype on it. And by all means, I'll have a discussion. You can hit me up at Squire9999 on Twitter or at the Trinisphere.
I also encourage people to throw shade Adam's way if they really like Multani. So.
Yeah, that's not going to happen as much, I don't think.
People like Multani. Multani is a good card, all right?
I mean, look, there's very few of us old guys, and I'm lumping myself in there. I'm just saying, there's very few of us old guys that are still playing Magic, and of that, you have an even smaller portion of the population that cares about Multani.
I mean, if you had said, I encourage people to throw shade his way about Zhao Dun the One-Eyed, too. That one is very true. Like, people who are just like, huh, what? That fucking dude from Dynasty Warriors is in Magic all of a sudden?
Yeah.
That is what I would expect people to say if I sat down with my Zhao Dun deck right now. But that's fine. So, also a really good card. But if you want to talk to us about some of your favorite cards from Portal Second Age to Mercadian Masques, or maybe just why we bothered to cover Portal Second Age anyway, you can hit us up at commandercast@gmail.com or at Twitter at commandercast. Hit up our Commandercast Facebook page. We are also, I should have done this at the top of the show, we're also on YouTube and edhrec.com now, too. So check us out. We are slowly infiltrating all the interwebs. So, today EDHREC, tomorrow the world.
Yeah.
Hold on to your butts, people. So a big thanks to everyone here at the CommanderCast Network, and we will see you guys next week with more community strategy and the best of 25 years of technology. So until then, let's get it!